Every game says it's a masterpiece, but let's be real, most of them are lying.
Welcome to Good, Great, or Garbage, the series where I play games that you're talking about and some that you probably should have ignored. We're talking new releases, underrated gems, and just some overhyped disasters. And there can only be three outcomes: good, great, or garbage.
Please do keep in mind that these are all my personal opinions based on my experience with the game at the time of recording. I may not know everything about the game, so just bear with me. Greetings, Chattanooskis, and welcome to another episode of your favorite series, Good, Great, or Garbage. And today we got an interesting game to cover. I think this game is probably the most hated release of 2026, and I need to know why. The game of today is Curse Gear, a JJK-inspired Roblox game that was made by the devs of Deepwoken as a little side project. It's supposed to be a passion project kept to the side, but they decided to release it publicly. Currently, the game has around 2,000 to 5,000 active players, 14,000 favorites, and only 1 million visits. So this puts the game in the underrated category. I feel like people aren't even trying the game, they're just watching YouTube and then taking what they think, yeah, it's not worth my time. But before we even dive any deeper into this game, we have to acknowledge something. Never in my entire life playing Roblox have I seen a new released game with a like ratio of less than 50%. Over half of the likes are dislikes, bro. Over half the people that have played this reviewed the game and thought it was so terrible they went out their way to go dislike the game. See, at first, I thought the game was just getting review bombed, but after seeing multiple negative videos on the game, I don't think I was so sure. But if you're new here, we don't listen to controversial takes without trying it for ourselves. If I have a pet peeve, it's when people come into my live and say, yo, this game sucks. Yo, this is garbage. Yo, stop playing this. Yo, we really playing this in a big 26? Like, bro, shut up, bro. You ain't even give an opinion as to why the game is trash. You just said, oh, trash, that's it. So today's video, we dive into Curse Gear and determine, does this game really deserve the hate that it gets? As always, if you enjoyed this video, please check out some of my other content, as those videos are really good and the algorithm just doesn't push them out. And there's also chapters down below for anybody that wants to see a specific part of today's rant. With all that out the way, let's hop into our first chapter, the gameplay. Now, this chapter might be a bit longer than usual, and that's because the Deepwoken devs are known for how little information they actually like to give out on their projects. Loading into Curse Gear for the first time, you're given a screen where you can customize your character. I say customize your character because I have no idea what I'm customizing. There ain't even no character on my screen to see. You're forced to pick between 5 different classes they offer, from Executioner to Ravager, but like I said about the lack of information, hopping into this game with no information at all, or going into this blind, you won't even know that these are classes in the first place, because I know that I didn't. I thought I was just choosing a goddamn origin, or something, like from Deepwoken. Should you pick a class you don't like, you can always swap in-game or completely reset your character. After picking one of the 2 different academies, you're loaded into what seems to be kind of the hub world for this game, where just a whole bunch of players and nothing really else. There isn't really too much else to this hub world alone, so the main things you're gonna need to progress through this game are the expedition area to start your mission, the auto docks to show all of your character's information and change out cybernetics, augments, and weapons that you gain throughout the missions, and last, the grade exam booth, where every 30 minutes you fight other players to increase your own grade and I guess level cap stats or whatever comes with increasing your grade. Now, there might be a lot of things that I do forget to mention, so if there's anything that you know that I don't that might help somebody else, leave it down in the comments down below for everyone else to read. After hopping around the lobby extremely confused for about 10 to 20 minutes, you finally create a party and start your first expedition, the beginning of the gameplay loop. Now, Curse Gear has an extraction type mission system to progress, similar to games like Warframe and Arc Raiders. You start up the mission, you get tasked with a few objectives, and then leave the mission with all of your obtained loot, putting in your stats and increasing your character's stats. Loading into your missions, sometimes you get a choice between intercepting another player's mission or starting your own. Should you decide to intercept another player's mission, means loading into their mission and being tasked with first taking them out and then the sub-tasks beyond that. And might I warn you, dying in this game means losing all the loot that you obtained in that specific mission. The real gameplay of Curse Gear lies inside the actual expeditions, as this is where you get time, the XP of this game, data orbs, which gives you cybernetics, gear XP, technique XP, and other rewards. The more time you have, the more stat points you can put into your character, to put it simply. And say you don't want a certain stat, or say you get a data orb that you don't want, you can switch it out for more XP or time. Expeditions is also where you get your curse technique. Now, these curse techniques are not easy to get by no means. You have to do a lot of farming to even get a common one. Some enemies or chests have a chance of dropping a technique shard. To actually gain and use the technique, you need to consume a certain amount of corresponding shards to gain the ability. Expeditions are also where you can get clothes from clothing shops, change your starting class or gear, heal your wounds, and after completing your objective and extracting from the mission, congratulations, you've reached the gameplay loop of Curse Gear. I almost forgot the name of this game. And now that we understand the general gameplay and progression of Curse Gear, I want to give my opinion based off my experience. So the next chapter will be my opinion. There will be no flaws here, so if you're interested in that topic alone, there's a chapter on it down below. I generally don't understand why this game has so much hate, bro. I might be playing later on after a lot of the bugs were ironed out, but even still, there's a lot of negative opinions still surrounding this game, and let's not forget, it still does have 8,000 dislikes and 6,000 likes. And after trying it out for myself, I can say Curse Gear is a good game with enjoyable gameplay, so I don't even understand how it's near this opinion that it has. In the back of my mind, I did have to catch myself from comparing it to Deep Woken, for example, because these are two completely different games with totally different feels. From the combat system, the progression, bro, honestly, they're night and day, and there's no way to compare two games that are just complete polar opposites to each other. So people that are saying they need to go focus on Deep because Curse Gear is not it, you might just like Deep more than Curse Gear. That might be it. That might be all it is, bro. And you can't compare Deep Woken and Curse Gear. We know how the Deep Woken devs get, bro. They make very unique projects that really can't be replicated. Now, y'all already know I'm not really tapped into the drama that comes from a lot of these games, nor will I ever be. But I did watch a video from my dog, Nikalem, and that guy's for the people. I'm gonna keep it a stack. He gonna say what need to be said. I rock with bro. And the main thing that he talked about was the lack of critical information this game has to offer, and how he pretty much got completely wiped and lost a clan that's cost him thousands of Robux because of a mechanic in game that no one was made aware of. And I agree, just based off the basic gameplay and how much you have to actually dig up to understand for yourself, or go to a Trello, an outside source, to understand about the game. And honestly, it isn't hard to grasp a lot of the easier concepts of this game, but sometimes the devs of hardcore type games take no hand holding just way too far, bro, to the point where players spend hours trying to find information that only devs or experienced testers have answers to. Honestly, I can't say that this game is bad because I just didn't experience any part of the game that was terrible. So I guess I just haven't played enough to understand all the hate, but from my eyes, early game is really enjoyable, and the combat is actually pretty fluid and fun too once you get the hang of, the mechanics used to combat. You get the point. Curse Gear is a very unique game in the Roblox platform, so it's no surprise that people find certain aspects of the game unbearable, like the parry. Having to charge both your curse technique and press F at the same time is just not comfortable whatsoever. And without the prior knowledge that this is a changeable aspect in your settings to make it easier, it's just gonna drive players away before they even go look in the settings. To keep this chapter short, Curse Gear is not a bad game, but it does need to be a little more generous with the critical information that's dire to a player's experience. With that, let's hop into the final chapter of this video, the game's flaws. Now, there's not a lot of flaws that I actually seen because, like I said, I enjoyed my experience, but I have heard that this game is a failed project. People say it's unbearable. People say it's just riddled head to toe with flaws, and I feel like y'all low-key dragging it, because that is what y'all do all the time. I like to drag these statements based off what you've seen over what you've experienced. But like I said earlier, I haven't played enough to truly understand where y'all are coming from this, but I will admit there are imperfections, starting with a lack of critical information like we said earlier. The tutorial in this game is low-key buns. It does teach you the basic things, but nothing else. It lacks a lot of critical information, like explaining what gears even are and how to change them, or how to increase your grade. While these are two easy things to grasp with time, not everyone is going to catch on this fast, and not everyone even knows that Trellos exist to this day, or that this game has a Trello, or a Discord in fact. And it makes you think, if they don't tell you about simple information that should be made pretty clear, what do you think they're going to do with the more critical information that's more dire to a player's experience? Other than the lack of information, the combat does have a bit of questionable features, like having a charge curse energy and use skills. I understand the idea behind it, don't get me wrong, but it kind of just pushes people to make macros to automatically do these inputs. And if it really comes to that, why not just make it a single input in the first place? Like, if 90% of the player base is gonna use a macro to do a double input into a single input, why not just make it a single input to begin with? I understand the idea behind it, 100%, but it just, some people said this was an even bigger problem in testing before the simple period was made. And again, I may be too new to the game to really understand it, but from where I'm at in the game, I'm not a fan of the double inputs at all, bro. Like, I'm using manipulator. I got to hold space, hold some other button, and then hold another button to even do a skill. I gotta hold 3 buttons to do one skill. Nah, I'm just not a fan of that. Certain mechanics I understand, but it's not really needed, bro. Again, I don't understand why this game gets so much hate, as in my opinion, it doesn't have a lot of flaws. It just seems like a lot of preference situations in most cases. Like, people like one thing because they're used to another, and that's it. So there's not much more for me to go off of here. With that, if there's anything I missed, y'all let me know down in the comments down below. And if there's any devs or content creator managers that want me to review their game, DM me on Discord at atsuya__. And with that, hope to catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.